was a big difference because if you got to these consumers, you were the put together this amazing crowd. Congratulations! Wow.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Arjun, for accepting our invitation and taking up your time to connect with us and guide us.
My pleasure.
So let me just kickstart the session, Arjun. Meanwhile, the people will join in between. First of all, thank you all for connecting with us, for joining with us on this new episode of TBR Talks. You guys have joined us on the weekend evening. Hope that we will try to give you as much as information possible from our end so that these things can help you and navigate you to help in your career. And thank you so much, Arjun, for connecting with us and taking up your time to guide us. So this is Asutosh, and I am founder and CEO of TechBairn Research. I have been running this company from last 4 to 5 years. It's a completely bootstrap company. And today with us, we are having Arjun as a guest. He is a D2C founder, active investor, and a mentor in our Indian startup ecosystem. He has founded Dr. Vaidya. It's one of the largest Ayurveda online brand currently in India, as far as I know, Arjun. And later that Dr. Vaidya, he sold it to RP Goenka Group, making it one of the first D2C one of the first successful D2C exists in India. And currently, he is also co-founder and investment partner at V3 Ventures, where he is trying to invest pre-Series A, or if you're having any kind of idea, or at Series A, they are trying to find some good companies and try to find some good ideas, some good people, and trying to invest in. So, yeah. So, Arjun, let me just give you before proceeding further, let me just give you an overview of the audience. So, basically, our mainly most of the audience are the students who are the audience are the students who are currently doing their undergrad or postgrad. Mainly, either they are doing engineering, BTech, BBA, or masters in MTech or MBA. So these are our crowd. Mainly 90% of the students are the one from the engineering background. Because we are a tech education platform. We provide programs and courses related to technical domain. So yeah, these are all the things regarding the audience. And so I will start like the flow of this whole talk will be like I'm having few questions from mind that I have gathered from the audience, or maybe some R&D that I have done. So I will ask few questions. And
excited, very excited for this.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if time allows, we can also take 1 or 2 Q&A questions from the audience if they are having.
Superb, Ashutosh. Let's dive straight in.
Yes.
This webinar.
So, Arjun, my first question is tell us about your journey, like how you have started your entrepreneurial journey. Like you started back in 2016, right? And yeah, so tell us a bit about your entrepreneurial journey so that the student can also get motivated, or something, some dot will be connected and that can help them to navigate their own journey.
Absolutely. So I won't spend so much time on the journey, because if you Google it or you go on YouTube, you'll see sort of all that information. But I'll quickly maybe summarize my journey, and then we can go into some more deeper topics as well. So my name is Arjun Vaidya. Vaidya, my last name means Ayurvedic doctor. I come from a legacy of 150 years of Ayurveda in my family. My grandfather, great-grandfather, and generations before, all Ayurvedic doctors. The legacy of our business was not a business. Someone keeps putting me on mute. You'll just have to stop them.
Let me. Yeah, Arjun, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying the legacy of our business was not a business, it was an Ayurvedic clinic. My grandfather ran a clinic that more than 300 patients on a daily basis used to come to. My grandfather didn't care for sales, distribution, marketing, or strategy. His work was work of service. He wanted more and more people to come to this clinic. So consultation was free in the clinic.
Okay.
Sorry, this someone keeps putting me on mute, so I have to keep going off mute.
Can anyone checks the host control shouldn't be go to anyone? Can anyone please check from our team?
But I'll keep going. That's fine. Um,
Yeah, Arjun.
so my dad graduated from college in the late 80s, and he wanted to sort of build a brand and a business. And he thought that my grandfather's clinic would be a great way to start business. Yeah, but my grandfather didn't care for sales, distribution, marketing strategy. He was a doctor. And so he wanted to build a clinic and he wanted to build a service-based business. So eventually my dad went his own way, started a luxury jewelry business, and continued his journey to building that for the last 35 years. But my journey actually with Dr. Vaidya and with Ayurveda started very early on. As most entrepreneurs, you have that one sort of experience that you've grown up with that makes you want to do what you're doing. And I grew up with juvenile bronchitis. I suffered from, yeah, someone called Manisha just muted me again. So I just unmuted. So
Okay, just yeah, please go ahead, Arjun.
yeah, so I think everyone has this one thing in their childhood that sort of makes them want to do better, want to do something new. And for me, it was suffering from asthma. I couldn't play cricket and football like my friends. I was playing golf and squash while everybody else was playing cricket and football. I didn't have Coke, Limca, Fanta, Sprite at birthday parties. I didn't. I wasn't able to have ice cream. Right. So I remember having ice cream the first time when I was 13 years old. I went to Baskin Robbins on Sunday with my parents, and I got a scoop of vanilla ice cream and I had to wait till the ice cream melted to have the ice cream. Right. So that was childhood for me. And asthma prevented me from having what I thought was a normal childhood. And so I was cured of asthma by my Dada's Ayurvedic treatment by age 15. And the first thing I did was start playing cricket again. I became captain of my school cricket team in 2008. And that was a turning point in my life because Ayurveda had allowed me to get past asthma. That was sort of very big moment for me in life. It made me start believing in the science more than just family legacy. And I think I started thinking that there is something here that I need to learn about. So I spent a lot of time with my grandfather. I transcribed our family formulations from scriptures to a computer. And then I went to college in the US to do my undergrad. And during my undergrad, I saw that yoga had been repackaged. Right? In the US, there were yoga mats, yoga gyms, yoga apparel, Lululemon, that created a multi-billion-dollar industry in the US. And I started thinking to myself, why can't I, like, why does someone else have to take it and repackage it and sell it to the world? Why can't Indian companies do it? So I called my dada from campus and I said, hey, we can't let the same happen with Ayurveda. We have to be Indian companies taking Ayurveda to the world. And with that thought, I moved back to India in 2013. I worked for 3 years in finance. And then my grandfather actually passed. And so I remembered the promise I'd made him and I quit my job to start Dr. Vaidya's. It's an Ayurvedic products company. The company was not an online first company. It started as an offline company. We failed miserably offline in distribution. And then I convinced my girlfriend, who then became my fiance, who's now my wife, to join the business. She was in the founding team at Nykaa. And she said, why don't you try this thing called online? We've seen it at Nykaa. We've seen it very successful. And you try this thing. And so she joined the business. In November 2017, we became an online first, online only digital business. And then from there, we had a crazy journey. We went from 0 to 5,000 orders a day, 2 million transacting customers across 16,500 pin codes. We launched 80 products. We raised some money from RP Sanjiv Goenka Group and eventually sold the business to them. In April 2021, the business was completely acquired from us by RP Sanjiv Goenka Group. And then I started my second innings as an investor. I now run a VC fund, as you talked about. I'm an angel in more than 100 D2C brands. I've mentored more than 1,000 D2C brands through my cohort-based program. So now it's about giving back and really helping the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's an awesome journey, Arjun. So back when you were started, you were talking like when we were started, we at the first didn't went online. We were doing some online stuff. So what kind of things you were doing at that point of time?
Yeah, I'll give you a detailed explanation of that now that you asked that question. So in 2016 October, brands were being built offline, right? And so that's where we
Because that at that time, like traditional retail business is kind of like P&G, Unilever are very have a very good mastery in that.
correct. So brands were being built offline, and
Mhm.
so that's where we went. Right? Obviously, that's where we went as Dr. Vaidya's. We set up offline distribution. We built. Uh, we had a big launch event at Taj Lands and Hotel. Um, at that launch event, we were able to sign on Yeah, Manisha muted me again. I don't know who Manisha is. Um, so we had this big launch event at Taj Lands and Hotel, and we signed on 6 distributors. We put 10 lakhs of stock in the market through these 6 distributors in Jan 2017. But what we didn't realize, Ashutosh, is that we have put stock into the market. That doesn't mean that we are getting paid and the stock is selling. So we didn't have the right marketing support, the right knowledge of the market, the right hold on the market, the right ability to get retailers to push our product. And so 3 months later, when I went to collect this 10 lakhs, I got 9 lakhs worth of stock back, only 1 lakh in payments. And then I realized something is wrong. I have 22 sales reps on ground. I think this business is going well because I've done primary sales, but without secondary and tertiary sales, the business doesn't exist. And so we're a big failure offline. We took the tough call of pulling back and stopping the offline business and going online. And that's when the second leg of Dr. Vaidya started, which all of you know the story about. It's now pretty well known journey.
And at that point of time when you just went to online for a D2C, so at that point already any D2C brand was there? I guess if I remember, at that time I was in my college, so uh, Coop was there, very popular in our college. Yes, Coop was there.
The
How
first
was the D2C landscape at that time in India?
I think the first set of D2C brands like Bewakoof and Chumbak and Soul Store were being built. The marketplaces had just started gaining traction. So outside of Flipkart and Amazon, Myntra, Jabong, Pepperfry, Bluestone, Zivame, Nykaa, Purple had just started kicking off. But 2017 is when the first leg of what we know as D2C brands now came, right? So it was Dr. Vaidya's, Mamaearth, M Caffeine, Plum, Mom's Co,
Mhm.
Licious, Wow. The first set of India's truly D2C brands had started in 2017. The ecosystem was like 15, 20 people. We didn't even have a WhatsApp group. Now I'm on like tens of WhatsApp groups with thousands of people. But at that time, things were very different. It was a small ecosystem, a small set of consumers. Investors were also not sure that consumers would buy D2C. And so honestly, that's where the world was at that time.
Yeah, right. Maybe Indians are most lean towards the building trust on the brand, then they will buy something like that. So at that point, like when you started going online, so what kind of audience you have targeted and how you have targeted that audience?
Yeah, so I think Ashutosh, you brought up an interesting point about trust, right? And I think if you're selling an Ayurvedic supplement or a product, it's very different from selling a personal care product, which you don't ingest or put into your body, you just apply it on your surface, right? But when you make pills, capsules, powders, oils, liquids, the product goes into your body. And so the level of trust that the customer has to have with you is very different. And that's what we had to garner, that's what we had to figure out as a brand. So I think the key for us was building this trust. And the way we were able to build this trust is actually do exactly what my grandfather did. Offer that free consultation that we offered in the clinic online. That consultation, that conversation with the doctor, it really helped people build their trust. They saw 150 years of family legacy. They saw a doctor consultation. They saw research approved, certified formulations, and they felt the trust. Right now, when I went out to build Dr. Vaidya's, I said I'm going to build a new age Ayurvedic products brand that makes Ayurveda appealing and accessible to modern consumers. That was the idea behind Dr. Vaidya's. Now, the reality was that I thought I would build a brand that could connect to people like me, who sort of modern consumers.
Right.
Now, what happened was slightly different, right? What happened was uh, we were able to build this brand, but our customers were actually not from Bombay, Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore. Our customers were from um,
T.
Anantnag, Muzaffarnagar, Imphal, and Trichy, because these were customers that
Oh,
didn't.
basically tier 2 and tier 3 cities, right?
These were customers that didn't have access to high
Mm.
Ayurvedic products and care in the touch of their fingertips. And so when we started seeing these customers, when we started talking to customers, and one thing which I really enjoyed doing and I continue doing till the end of my journey, even when you're doing 5,000 hours a day, is speak to customers every day. That insight that you get from customers is unmatched. Excel sheets don't tell you that, reports don't tell you that, your team doesn't tell you that. The customer is king, always right, always knows what's happening, right? So I think from that perspective, it was really, really telling that the customer was very different from who I thought the customer would be. And so the brand had to pivot. The packaging strategy had to pivot. The communication had to pivot. The language of communication moved from English to Hindi and English. I think that was very telling. Very, very interesting change in behavior from what I thought it would be.
Got it. Yeah. So, Arjun, for all these things, what kind of channels were you all were using, through Flipkart, Amazon, or through your own website? What kind of channels you were using, and how you were reaching out to the audience, through digital marketing? How you were just reaching out? Just I want to know an overview. How you were just reaching out to them,
I think
because everything is online. It's nothing is online. D2C is a completely online, and we are doing everything's online. So how do we reach to people who are there in tier 2 or tier 3 cities? I guess back in the 2016 or 2017, Geo just started, right?
with Geo starting, the availability of data for a lot of consumers, the availability of digital, democratizing reach. I think digital allowed us to reach 16,500 pin codes. That's 65% of India from one warehouse, right? So we truly used the power of digital. We were a website first brand. So in 2017, 18, 90% of our sales came from our website. Eventually, it was 65% from our website and 30% from marketplaces like Amazon,
Awesome.
NetMeds, MedLife, 1mg, PharmEasy, and then 5% from offline. The great part about building a business that's focused on your website is that a lot of the customer data came into us. So names,
Right.
addresses, telephone numbers, products they bought, pin codes, all this data came into us. And then we launched a new product. We launched a similar product. I think all of that cross-sell and upsell was possible and available as well. So I think building a website first business was really, really advantageous for us as a company.
Got it. So, and Arjun, nowadays, what is the current landscape of D2C in India? I'm saying, many celebrities are also launching their own D2C brand. I've seen a lot of celebrities are launching their D2C brand. So, what is the current landscape of the D2C in India, basically?
So I'll tell you the big change, right? When I was building my business,
And as a when back in the 2016 or 2017, or any startup who is digital India, we should be very thankful to Geo, as per I think.
yeah, so I'll tell you the environment in 2016, 17, 18, there were lesser brands and lesser customers. So you had lesser people that you could speak to. But if you're able to reach these people and engage with these people and have a conversation with these people, I think it was a big difference. It was a big difference because if you got to these consumers, you were the only brand that they could buy. So in Ayurveda online, for example, we were the only brand that was available for customers to buy. So I think the market size was smaller, but the competition was also limited. Today, the market size is significantly expanded after COVID. My mom and dad, who never shopped online, are now shopping on Amazon and D2C websites. They have online banking set up, they're using UPI, etc., all of that. So I think that's a big change. But with that change comes a lot of competition. If you go on Amazon and you search, let's say, Ayurveda or Shilajit or something like that, you'll see 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 options at times. And so for brands today, while there is much larger market, there is also much more competition, which means standing out through the clutter, cutting through the clutter, and being relevant through all of this is very, very crucial. And so brands really need to build brand, need to build identity, need to build sort of loyal customers. This base needs to be figured out. The market is much larger, but the competition is also much more. So I would say it's tougher now than in 2017, 2018 to build a D2C brand.
Right. right? People are there, but a lot of brands are also there, so people are having a lot of options to choose. Same thing goes to in the sector which we are. A lot of things are there. A lot of people are having a lot of options,
Lot of
and
things.
lot of things are there, lot of options are there, and in our business there is no entry barrier. Anyone can enter in our business. They can start their YouTube channel and start teaching. So it's a no barrier business. Okay, so next question will be Arjun, like as you have started your next venture V3, right? So what are your planning, what are your next goal regarding this? What kind of people you are looking for, what kind of founders you are looking for, in which segment basically you are looking for to invest in or to get engaged in? Because a lot of people are there who can also reach out to you if they finds that they are fitted what you are actually looking for.
Yeah, so Ashutosh, I think my next leg of my journey is I created a company. Now, am I able to enable through mentorship, advice, capital, the next 1,000 D2C brands over the next 10 years? That's my goal. That's my objective. So we invest primarily in the consumer space across brands, tech, enablers, platforms. We invest early stage, so seed to series A. So we invest 5 to 30 crore checks in companies. I've made 5 investments already from this fund. And the idea is we want to back the next disruptive brands of tomorrow. We want to back the Dr. Vaidyas of tomorrow. We want to back the Mama, the Both, the Licious, the Wow of tomorrow. That's the idea. We believe in India being a brand staff nation, being a nation for disruption. Just give me one second.
Yes, sure.
We believe in India being a brand staff nation, a nation where lots of disruption will happen. The middle class is growing significantly, growing very rapidly. And so I think this is what we really need to happen in our country. We need the next set of consumer brands to come and engage with this audience. And I think that's the big opportunity. And India is where everybody from the world is looking. I run a fund which is based in Belgium. We have offices in London, New York, Singapore, LA, Brussels. But I think the most exciting is India. This is our time for our decade. Things are happening. Things are happening here.
Exactly. So, Arjun, at that time, back in 2016, when you have started, I guess very less companies were also there, and not that kind of startup culture hype that is now there today after this 2020. So, how the things have changed back in the 2016 to now in 2022 or 23, because you have experiences from all the way long. I have started from 2019, so I'm having very less experience regarding this.
Yeah, look, I'd say, Ashutosh, I talked about the change in the D2C space, but startups are mainstream now. Capital is much more available. Unicorns have been created, and so people want to go and build startups. So I think from all of this, there's lots of positives, lots and lots of positives coming up.
So yeah, so Arjun, by the way, if any one of us want to reach to you with
You can
having
reach out to me on
some kind.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
reach out to me on LinkedIn or Instagram.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, those who have joined, we will after this session, we will provide you the Arjun LinkedIn ID and Instagram ID, so that at any point of time you feel that if you're having something, you can connect with me.
Follow those pages, see what we write, what I write about, get some tips on D2C on startup.
Yeah, our team will just share your every details with them so that they can get connected with you after this session also, Arjun. So, Arjun, my last question from my end is, as all the students are there in their colleges, either second year, third year, fourth year, or maybe few are doing their MBA or masters. So, as an entrepreneur, how they can, what kind of advices or suggestion you are having from your end? Because as they have joined this session, so it means that they are somehow bit lean towards business, startup, or entrepreneurship. So what kind of suggestion you will give them, like to start their own entrepreneurial journey or to start their own venture?
It's a great way to end the conversation. I would say, if I were to do it all over again, I would do two things. One, the world is moving towards tech. So can you learn some element of tech? Take some computer classes, take some coding classes, take some programming classes, get some basic knowledge of tech. That's point number one.
Mhm.
And point number two, be a sponge. Be a sponge. My biggest regret was in college. I never did a computers class when I had the opportunity. And the second thing I would say is be a sponge. Take in as much information as you can, do internships, speak to founders, do entrepreneurial things on your campus. Use this time wisely and don't waste it. I think those are two pieces of advice I can give. Obviously, all those on the call, you're the next generation of India. I'm very patriotic. I wear this band with the Indian flag on my hand. I've been wearing it for the last 13
Oh,
years.
wow, great.
The future is in your hands. The future of India is in your hands. The future is bright. And so, yeah, I think make things happen. And this is our decade to really excel as a country.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, Arjun, like if you're having time, can you take one or two questions from the audience?
I'll take one and then we can.
Okay. So, any one of you are having any question, you can write in the chat. All I guess already we are having something. Yeah, Niladri, go ahead. You were the one who has raised the hand. So, yeah, please go ahead and ask the question. You can turn on your mic. Yeah, Niladri.
Hello.
Yeah,
Am I
Niladri.
audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible. Please
Yes,
go ahead.
please go ahead.
एक्चुअली सर मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि मैं अभी सेकेंड ईयर में हूँ और मैं इनेक्टा ज्वाइन किया हूँ. इनेक्टा सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप प्रमोट करता है, तो मैं इस तरीके से अपना एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वाला जर्नी शुरू किया हूँ. तो उधर मैंने आइडिएशन सीखा, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, मतलब जो जो बेसिक चीजें होता है वो सीखा. पर मतलब एक सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप से जो आप लोग जो करते हो, मतलब एक मेन स्ट्रीम जो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप होता है, इधर से सर कैसे मूव कर सकते हैं?
So I'm sure there is a e-cell in your university or there are internship opportunities in startups. So I think best in Actis is always great. But वहाँ से आप e-cell join कर सकते हो कि आप startups में कुछ internship कर सकते हो. That'd be very helpful for you to get real industry experience.
Okay. Thank you for
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Arjun, and thank you, Niladri. So I guess, Arjun, we are out of time. Okay.
Thank you. I look forward to staying in touch with
Any,
all of you.
a lot of questions are there in the chat, but I guess they can reach out to you somehow. We will share all the details of your LinkedIn and Instagram ID so they can connect with you later on. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Arjun, for guiding us. And thank you so much for connecting with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, guys. So nice to meet you and look
Thank
forward.
you. Same to you. Thanks, Arjun. So, guys, I will be just sending the Arjun LinkedIn profile as well as the Instagram profile. So please do follow him over there so that uh, uh, you can connect with him if you're having any kind of idea. Just give me a minute. So this is his Instagram ID I have forwarded, and let me just and this is his LinkedIn ID I have forwarded. So meanwhile, just stay connected with him, and if you are having any kind of questions or doubt, you can ask him. Okay, bye. I hope you all have enjoyed the session and learned from someone who has built a multi-crore business. I guess they sold Arjun Vaidya for more than 200 crores, plus 200 crores they have sold, and they have invested in all these companies that you see today, like Cuckoo FM. He is also an angel investor in Cuckoo FM. Tag G. So all this company they are invested in, and he is very active in our Indian startup ecosystem. So he tries to give back to our ecosystem. So if any kind of your queries or anything you are having, please please do connect with him, and okay, so that's all. Thank you so much for joining, and I guess you all guys have enjoyed the session and have taken something from here. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and happy weekend. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.